Now, Newcastle know a win against Everton will secure their qualification for next season's Champions League, and with it, at least a fourth-place finish. OK, we're going to head to Keith Downey, who's there for us. One question ahead of the game, Keith. I mean, it's about the fitness of what everyone wants to know. Alexander Isak, he, of course, missed last week's defeat to Arsenal. Did Eddie Howe, when you spoke to him, give clues on whether he could be involved?
Yeah, morning, Hayley. I don't think Eddie Howe knows exactly yet himself, and that is because Isak has been unable to take a part in full training this week. He's been running on his own, Eddie Howe said, as he tries to get one more game out of him this season. Remember, Isak scored 23 goals for Newcastle this season. He's without doubt their star turn, and in the games that Newcastle have lost this season, it's coincided with Isak not playing all of them. So it shows just how important he is to Newcastle's cause. But I just got the impression, the way Eddie Howe was speaking this morning, that there is a decent chance that he will play. I don't think he's set to train with the squad today, but he will train. The plan is for him to train with them tomorrow on the eve of the game. So he's giving him right up until the last moment. And of course, a Newcastle United team with Alexander Isak in it has a much better chance, you would suggest, of beating Everton on Sunday, which of course is what Newcastle have to do if they are to play in next season's Champions League.
Yeah, he's doing okay. He's hasn't trained with us yet, but he's made good progress through the week. Next couple of days will be absolutely crucial to his availability on Sunday.
So at this stage there is a chance that he could play some part against Everton?
Yeah, there's a chance. It's difficult to give any more than that, really. Until he trains with us, we won't fully know how he's going to respond to the training and the demands that the game will place upon him. We'll only play him if he's fit to contribute, but at the moment he has an opportunity, potentially.
Following Newcastle's cup success, of course, it could be some season for the club, Keith, couldn't it? I mean, if they do qualify for the Champions League.
Yeah, Eddie Howe said this morning that it would be a monumental effort if Newcastle are to get over the line, Hayley, and qualify for the Champions League. And that's because if you look back to the start of the season, they were having a few issues with some of their players who had been speculated may leave last summer, and they didn't, namely the likes of Anthony Gordon and Bruno Guimaraes and Isak himself. All three stayed, and it just felt that first couple of months of the season there was a few lingering issues in the background that I think affected performances, the body language, I think, of some of the players, and it took them a couple of months to get into the season. And it felt like the turning point was against Brentford towards the start of December, the 7th of December it was. They went down there, they lost 4-2. Eddie Howe made them watch a video of the game on the bus back to Newcastle. They got the bus that day due to high winds, and that felt like the turning point, because after that Newcastle went on a 9-match winning run and their season turned. Of course, as we know, they won the Carabao Cup back in March, and they're now on the cusp of playing Champions League football last season, having missed out last year. So yeah, it's been an interesting season for them. Their record has been terrific since December. I think since that match, they're only second behind Liverpool in the form table in the Premier League. So it was the start of the season that's let them down, but they've put themselves into a position where it's in their own hands on Sunday. As I touched on earlier, they beat Everton, and they're there in the Champions League next season.
When you look back, I think it's sometimes a really good thing to do, just to reflect back to the start of the season. And the start of the season, actually, the first few games were difficult for us. If you cast your mind back, I think we got a couple of good results, but performances weren't quite where they needed to be. So I think then if you sort of go back to that period, and certainly we spoke about the Brentford game a lot, but after that game, if you'd put us in this position, you'd have said it was a monumental effort from the players to catapult us up the league into, with a chance of qualifying for the Champions League with one game to go, winning obviously the Cup like we did, we'd have taken that for sure.
So that was Eddie Howe on Sunday's must-win match at home to Everton, a game, the corresponding fixture earlier in the season, they drew 0-0, and of course Anthony Gordon missed a penalty against Jordan Pickford in that match. Just in the last 15 minutes or so, both Gordon and Dan Burn have been called up to the England squad, so that's good news for everyone connected to Newcastle United Football Club. In terms of further injuries, Isak obviously is a doubt, as I've mentioned already. Same too for Kieran Trippier. It sounds like they'll give him right up until the last minute. He also missed the match against Arsenal last weekend. And Joe Linton, who they were hoping may have a slight chance of featuring in the last couple of games, he's been completely ruled out. So look, Eddie Howe doesn't have his injury problems to seek in a must-win match, but it feels very much like they've got enough just to give this one last push, and it will be quite a memorable season for Newcastle. One of their best in living memory, you would have to say, if they lift a trophy and qualify for the Champions League. They just need to beat Everton on Sunday at home. It's in their hands, and they're not waiting on favours from anyone else.
Keith, thank you.